you go in this draft, but if you can lock up a few key positions here, and boy, the skills just leap out at you with this guy. He will be a very important part of this ball club. The Vikings have already been heard from in this draft. Now, here's a chance to have a second player go. This is a pretty telling pick here. Do you go for a big bruiser up front, or get yourself someone who could be a difference maker at a skill position? These middle rounds are where your decisions... Two words here: difference maker. That's what that pick right there is.
I'm a human now, but I used to be your raindrop, word up. I'm really good at putting words up. Make them levitate and circle with the birds. I don't need to force.
What to do here? Build up the interior of your line? And that's a pick that'll solve a lot of problems out there. He'll fit in nicely.
A whole lot of ignorance, and that's a good thing if you want to relate. I'm just trying to relate. I'm just trying to relate.
Some tough choices coming up right about now. Do you go after the best available player, or do you go after a position need? Boy, it's finger-crossing time now with the excellent selection. Just what this team needs to maybe get him over the hump.
It's come out like a coward. I get down like gravity, rapidly, follow the rapid into the rapid, to big rapid, and rapidly, riddles, and riddles into the sky, and we're rebel, feeling vividly, clear, right? You're bigger than spinner, right to the rhythm,
We've already had a New York Giant be selected in this draft. Now here's a chance for a teammate to join him.
I don't expect the special lace.
Both offensive and defensive options here. They might have to ask themselves which side of the ball needs more attention.
Pressure, worst keeps my impression impressed. That's the way to relate. I'm trying to relate. I'm trying to relate. I'm trying to relate.
Always a tough decision, offense or defense. It's all about finding the right balance when you're putting a team together. We've seen the Chargers represented already. Might one of his teammates join him? And this is a big piece of the...
Retain.
Caught up in my... Put your head on backwards. Then skate on faster. Engage in laughter about what just happened. Napkins get sent to mammoths. Is that too graphic? Catch you in traffic. You sitting dapping like...
Thank you, Larry. So the picks are in. We welcome you to this Draft Champions contest. I'm Brandon Gaudin along with Charles Davis, ready to call the action. And let's get to it. Down to the field. It's time for kickoff. And it's the birth of a new club as we're underway in Draft Champions. Fielded about a yard deep. And last year that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee. And that's at the 25. First down, Newton. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Sammy Watkins, the intended target, and that'll bring up second down. Second down. Now the first carry for Adrian Peterson. Ben. It's a big play there for the Chiefs. 38 yards. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. If you're an Adrian Peterson fan, that's the sign that you want to see right there on the other end. They got to learn to get him down, or this could be a long one.
And it's also the sign that his team wanted to see. Him making that type of a run, having a force and an impact on the game that early, that really demoralizes the defense because they realize it could be a...
Looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4. One more stop here after the run on 2nd down. And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. Newton. Inman has it over the middle. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down. And it appears they'll go for it here on 4th down. A big call on the game's opening drive. Here we go. Looking for Watkins, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jason Barrett. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Should build up as the season goes on.
They come out here in the eye. Now the first carry for LaShawn McCoy. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4. Second down, Rivers. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. It's a loss of 4. Now third.
Lost yardage.
On third down. Intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Kolamisi. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a KC touchdown. Linebackers, they love when those short throws come and those eyes get real wide, don't they?
How about the anticipation on the play? Reading, reacting, and then the ability to catch the football and take.
They'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And here comes the Texans now. Following the interception here, Rivers. Walker with a grab, left side. A big play there on the catch and run. 46 yards.
Ability, rack ability is often the difference between winning and losing and changing field position.
Now a first down carry here for McCoy. And he'll get this one down to about the 27.
Give him rolling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Rivers now on 2nd down. And he's got his man in stride, complete. 15 yards there on the catch and run.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all right there. He knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think.
And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. It's the 3rd touchdown. And the Texans are an extra point away from tying this football game. And he puts it through. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. Shreds the tackle, and they're going to have lousy starting field position as he's out of the city. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense.
Will be the last play of the quarter. There's Newton now on 2nd down. Got a man and he hits him in stride. And he's taken down.
The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically, but a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
And he takes a shot on the release. To throw on 2nd down is Newton. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. The Hall of Famer Ozzie Newsome, the intended with some added pressure as the offense is dealing with a 3rd and long. Peterson alone in the backfield. And he'll get it up the middle. And he is going to lose yardage here. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4.
Joey Bosa with the tackle for loss.
And they're going to fake it from deep in their own territory. Oh, but he'll be stopped well short of the first. You're looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game.
They come out here in the eye. Now a second down throw for Rivers. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. You might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts. Wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Out is the Texans kick team as they'll send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term complementary football? Offense take care of the defense, defense take care of the offense. That didn't happen on the last possession. This is a chance for them to pick themselves back up and help their team.
Yeah, we'll see if they can recoup and recover. He's got his target, the tight end Newsom. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there. If he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play. We know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
Play action. It's Newton. The football, it's out. And his guys are going to get the... We're back to East Rutherford. But first, this time out. One receiver left, two to the right. Third and long, it's Newton. And that is incomplete. They are going to go for it. It's Newton. Trying to lay one up deep. And this is incomplete. A good field position. First down, Rivers. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone.
Exactly the same way. They can't cross that. You play through the receivers. And on that play, that's exactly what they did and batted it away.
And he'll hit his tight end, Walker. Great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4. Working out of the gun, Rivers. And he's got his man. That's Macklin. The gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
19 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it 1st and goal. They'll try and run it with McCoy. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. LaShawn McCoy taking it in from a yard out. And the Texans will add on to their lead. Extra point now by Boswell. It's good, and it is now 21-7. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now here comes Kansas City. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned they're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here.
On second down, here's Newton. Looking left side and completing it to Thomas. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime. Newton on first down. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. It'll be a gain of 6, and it'll bring up a second down. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. A final shot before the break. Newton. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be taken in at the 1. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. And now out comes Houston. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. On second down, it's McCoy. Stays on his feet, and he'll get about 6 up to the 27-yard line.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Rivers on 3rd and 2, and he locates Walker, complete. And he's able to get it to the 33, good enough for a first down.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
A first down throw here for Rivers. And that's caught. Did he stay in bounds, though? He did not. Ruled incomplete. Second down now after the incompletion.
That was a nice catch, but unable to stay in bounds. And remember, it wasn't a wide receiver who works on that all the time.
I was going to say, he likes to get the ball handed to him. Now, don't get me wrong, he's part of the passing game as well, but maybe a little out of his comfort zone there.
Yeah, he might want to have a few words to say to us about that later, but I am still going with you on that one. Wide receivers work on it a little bit more.
So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. So you got the lead here in the second half. Obviously, you love big runs like that at any time. Here you really like it.
And how about the confidence that's being exhibited by that offense now? They don't care what you're lining up doing on the defensive side. They want the big fella to carry the football and carry it often. It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up a first and goal. Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. Now McCoy. And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. LaShawn McCoy, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Texans will extend their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. The bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Out is the Texans kick team as they'll send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And with the new rule, that decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he only gets to the 20. So here's the Chiefs offense ready for their first reps in half number 2. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Peterson alone in the backfield. Newton under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Joey Bosa in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon. To throw on second down is Newton. Complete to Newsom. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for third down. Third down now following the completed pass. Throwing on third down, Newton. He throws and he hits the slant route to Thomas. And he gets this one all the way up to the 40. They convert on third with a gain of 22. So the offense has it first and 10. Thomas, the lone receiver, left. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Gerald McCoy busting through to get him for a loss of 6. On second down, here's Newton. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Thomas, the intended target, and that'll make it third down. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
The defensive coordinator came into this game with a plan to get to the quarterback with whatever type of pressure is necessary. It's working to perfection for him today.
Flush to his right. Looking again for Thomas, this time complete. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. The offense lining up first and 10. Peterson alone in the backfield. Now it's Newton. Flushed out right. He gets it to Thomas. And he's going to get this inside the 30. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
They talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a first down.
Now a first down throw for Newton. This is complete to Watkins on the slant. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is not with his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle. He can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
On second down, Peterson. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage.